What's up, guys? This is a bit of a more serious topic, so I'm not going to be joking around too much, but in case you didn't hear, Charlie Kirk was shot around 2:10 EST yesterday at Utah Valley University. He was hosting an event and was immediately rushed to the hospital once he was shot, but unfortunately at 4:40 EST again, he was pronounced dead. Now, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, which I'm sure now you do, but he was a right-wing political speaker, and he'd usually go to like college campuses and debate students. Now, with all that out of the way, I was actually a pretty big fan of him. I did like his content, and I thought he made some pretty good points and was a pretty good debater. So, I mean, it was just so sad to hear that he was shot, and then like a few hours later hear that he was dead. Right, it was crazy. I don't think anyone was expecting that. Now, of course, he does talk about politics, which for some reason puts him in a lot of danger, even though it really shouldn't be that way, because I feel like that's the main, if not the sole reason we have freedom of speech in America, is to protect our ability to speak about politics and share our opinions on certain matters like that. And a lot of people are saying that the person who killed them wasn't probably politically motivated, which has to be one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard. It's so obviously politically motivated. Why would they have shot him, the speaker, instead of anyone else? But I actually wanted to make this video yesterday. I just wanted to wait until there was more information on the killer and stuff like that. And actually, literally 10 minutes ago, a post came out on ABC News about the FBI releasing a $100,000 manhunt and releasing images of the suspected killer. And, you know, obviously I wanted to wait because this video could do decently well. And if you see it and I post these images and you happen to see who it was, that's obviously a good thing. So just take a good look at it. And if you live anywhere near like Utah Valley University or in Utah, or probably even the surrounding states, because I'd imagine the killer's definitely running, then keep a lookout. So anyways, let's get into some of the news surrounding this situation, and I'll share a lot more like of my opinion a little bit later. But the governor actually went on national TV and said that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah, which is obviously alluding to the fact that once this person's caught, they'll be given the death penalty, at least hopefully. And back to the thing where a lot of people are saying it's not a political agenda, a lot of people are really trying to dig into the fact that Trump is blaming like a political agenda and saying that it's the radical left, which I mean, it's just so obvious that it is. I mean, if you're saying it's not, you're retarded. It literally is. Some more news is that Trump actually said he's going to posthumously give Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is an extremely high honor award. And posthumously just means like after he's dead, he's receiving this award. Now, something I think is great is what I've seen is a lot of people I know from school and stuff are reposting everything they see about like praying for Charlie Kirk. Well, they were before they saw he passed, and people are really just spreading the word of this so much, which is just incredible, because we need people to understand that they do have the right to speak about politics. And that's why I think it's also such a good thing that they're taking this so seriously in the government, because this is an assassination and they need to be taking this so seriously and proving to people that they can comfortably speak about their opinions on political matters, because if you can't, then we live in a tyranny. So I think it's just so great to see like the $100,000 manhunt and the at least threats of the death penalty, although I don't really fully agree with the death penalty, like in general, but that's besides the point. One of the worst things about all of this is that there's people out there that I've even seen. I saw one girl that I knew repost something on Instagram saying that it's probably for the better that he was shot, because he supports genocides, he does all this. He's like, that happens to people every day, so he deserved it, which is just a terrible take. Obviously, no one deserves to get shot. There are multiple takes to everything. And there's also something he said where he was saying, like, it's okay if a few people die, if way more people are safe, which is why he believes in the right to bear arms and why he supports it, which I completely agree with. I'm sure if someone at that scene, which they couldn't, but I'm sure if someone at that scene had a gun, they would have reacted and it would have been safer. But they can't. It's at a school, which is obviously a good thing. And that's another thing, is this was done at a school, so I would 100% consider this a school shooting, and they could have killed anyone in that crowd. So they took the shot from 200 meters which someone, I can't exactly remember when, I'll put them up on the screen. They were talking about they were recently training snipers, and a 200-meter shot isn't significantly hard, but it does take practice. And they could have killed anyone in that crowd, any college student in that crowd, any children. And Charlie Kirk was only 31 years old when he was killed. Something that genuinely makes me extremely sad about this, and I mean, like, seriously, it genuinely gives me a weird feeling to think about, is he had 2 children and a wife. And someone I know sent me a TikTok, actually, and they were like, this is so sad, oh my god. And I was like, wow. Like, that just makes it so much stronger, because he had a family and stuff, and he was supporting them. So genuinely, anybody who's supporting this is just disturbed and has something wrong with them mentally, because how can you support someone who has kids and a wife getting shot because of their political views? There's just, it's awful. You are just a disturbed, disgusting person, because this is like the most disgusting crime you can commit, and supporting this person is disgusting and awful, genuinely. And that kind of leads into my next point, is that you're a terrible person, first of all, for supporting the shooter, but the shooter only made him stronger in death, because his word now is so much stronger. He has so much more support than he ever did, and he died yesterday. Within an hour of his shooting, I genuinely saw every single person I know posting pictures, like saying prayers for his health, like pray for him. And like everywhere I look now, all I see is Charlie Kirk's passing and a search for the shooter. He is genuinely becoming so much stronger in death than he ever could have been in life. So all the shooter did was make his voice more prominent. Now, I just want everyone to know, if this was on the other side and someone from the left got shot, I would be saying the exact same thing. But you don't really see that happen. It seems like the far left is just so much more extreme and so much more like intense. And of course, we're talking about still, like, we're obviously talking about the 1 or less percent, significantly less than 0.1%. But they take things so much further than need be, that stuff like this happens. And the far left, you see them talk a lot more intensely as well. You see a lot of people saying that, like, we need to start taking action. We need to start killing people because our voices aren't heard. They don't directly say to kill people, but they say stuff like that. And that, I feel like, probably had a good impact on this and needs to be stopped. The people who are making these threats, or at least encouraging the people to do these things, need to be stopped, and these threats need to be taken seriously. And I think Think Before You Sleep made a fantastic point. Here's his post. It says, "First, the girl was stabbed on a train by a racist black man, and now it looks like Charlie Kirk was fatally shot. Is the FBI going to start taking these terrorists seriously now? Are we going to start arresting the numerous Twitch streamers who have been openly inciting violence? Are we going to put these judges who keep doing these catch and release programs for violent criminals on trial?" And I just think that was worded fantastically. It's the 1%, but that 1% doesn't matter when they're making threats and violence, and when it ends up killing someone, it should be taken seriously. And I think this might be a huge wake-up call to all of that that's happening. But I think something a lot of people haven't thought about, this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is who's going to support his wife and kids now, because they have to live either like a much less nice lifestyle and like a much more like average lifestyle than what they were living. And obviously, like, nothing's wrong with living a life like that, but they shouldn't have to deal with that because their father and husband got killed, right? And what about if she does have to end up getting a job? She's gonna have to pay for daycare and everything. It's just a lot of people don't think about stuff like that. There was a lot more to this man's life than just political commentary and like being a public speaker about politics. But I mean, that's pretty much all I have for you. I just wanted y'all to think about this, and it's important to just talk about stuff like this. So yeah, I'll see y'all.